It's time for you to look inward and begin asking yourself the big questions. Who are you? And what do you want?
I've been asked this question so many times, and I don't know if I was truly honest. What I'm passionate about, where I see myself in 5 years, and I just remember being in class, and a few people usually had a prepared answer, and for what they want to do, and I don't know. I just always felt like my answers were unrealistic, and because I usually wanted to do a lot of things that spoke to me, and there's something about sticking to one thing. And growing up, I struggle with this still. It's just hard for me to focus on one passion or one career. Like, what if I just put more effort into music? Or, what if I become a pro soccer player too? Or, I don't know, what if I start a YouTube channel? And what if I become a director? Even an actor? It comes off as overwhelming. And I also didn't want to be perceived as a person that didn't have it together, like someone who's lost. And, anytime I had a conversation with people or friends, and half of all these aspirations, I would just lie, or maybe I was just extremely vague about what I like. I think it's because I just would lie to myself too, actually. It made it seem like I knew what I wanted. I knew the plan, and I knew how I was going to make it work. But no, I didn't. And I was just looking for an answer, looking for a way to maybe not let go of things I thought I cared about so much. Because I was just stubborn. I didn't want to accept the fact that it's okay that I don't know what I want to do with myself yet. And I didn't trust myself. The amount of times I dab into something new, I never finished it. Anytime I started something, I moved on so quickly. Why couldn't I just let go? Why did I keep these things around me just in case something didn't work out? It's hard for me to let go of something that I thought was for me. There's always like those vivid memories or interactions we have with random people that we remember the most. And the one thing that sticks with me is 2014. It's summer, it's the World Cup. I just remember it was like the year I was going into high school. There was a lot going on that year probably, but regardless, what I really remember is that this was my first time I realized it was a passion that I cared about. And it was soccer, right? And I was trying to get really better at it. I sucked when I was a kid, right? I wasn't good at all, but I remember my mom signing me up for this like summer program, like in the park, and I was just like, all right, I don't want to do it. And she's like, you should do it. Like, it's cool. It's like, these people are coming from the UK. They're gonna, train you guys. And I was like, all right, fine. I'll try it, right? But yeah, I just remember like meeting those two guys and this practice, and it was kind of like the best thing ever. I know that everyone else was like younger, and they were the only ones around my age, but it's the best feeling when you kind of meet new people that you weren't even like prepared to meet, and I knew, like, I was like, damn, we're probably never gonna see each other again, right? And I didn't really care. I was just like, it's just nice, to train, go walk to a Burger King and just eat a little burger real quick and fries, and we were all just like predicting who's gonna win this and that, and yeah, I really like that, man. Something about that memory it was a really good summer, and I'm glad. how do you know if you're doing the right thing? And I feel like it always pointed down to that, and which makes no sense because, I don't think any of us are supposed to know if we're doing anything right. And what if I'm supposed to go through all this? And it's hard because I confuse myself so easily, which is why I spent so many years just thinking and consuming and getting in my head too much. And eventually I just got tired of being so safe about everything. And it's funny because all these goals that I had, they're very, very hard goals, and it's probably hard for a lot of people to reach. And I never could find the time to actually sit there and commit to it. It was just something that I kept in the back of my head. And I would tell myself, oh yeah, eventually I'm going to do it. I'm going to get there. And I was actually like overconfident in my head, and it was wrong to do that to myself without actually putting any effort in it. And it wasn't because I was lazy or I was inconsistent about it. It was more so I just actually was afraid to start because what if, something went wrong and it actually didn't work out? I didn't want that answer, and that's why I would avoid it. It's like being a jack of all trades, the master of none, and having so many things you like, you aren't fully invested into one of them, and you equally care about those minor and major goals and all those careers you had in mind. And honestly, whatever you have some sort of interest or even love for, I might be wrong. Going for all these things at once, I do think eventually one thing will come out of it. Something you least expected. Because that person you were 3 to 5 years ago might actually be laughing right now and can't even grasp the idea of living in my scenario right now. Doesn't believe my life is this possibility. Like, how did I even get here? This is a really hard feeling to describe, but it's that feeling when you sit down before watching a movie. Maybe everything isn't the best right now, and a lot of things are overwhelming. And there's always some sort of conflict going on in our life, and to the point where I actually don't even want to watch it anymore. And like maybe there's better things I should be doing right now, because my time shouldn't be wasted on something temporary. And I had such a bad mindset, and I always felt like I was wasting my time. Why was I like this? I don't know. I felt this immense pressure to succeed at such a young age, and I needed to get everything done before it was too late. Like I always felt like things were going to go wrong for me. There was all sorts of movies I watched, and yeah, I realized a lot of things are temporary, of course, and that feeling won't last, but those little moments stick with you forever. There's always a few movies in our life that after we finished it made us feel calm, a sense of relief, or it just made us feel really good, and it made us let go for 1 second. And there was this movie called About Time, and the one quote that really stuck with me the most, it says something like, "The truth is, now I don't travel back at all, not even for the day. And I try to live every day as if I deliberately come back to this one day to enjoy it, as if it was the full final day of my extraordinary, ordinary life."